Scores around the league. The Grizzlies win, the Timberwolves win, and the Nuggets win. And I'll tell you in 1 second. And the Clippers win. Clippers now make it a 4-point game with 3 seconds left. So the Lakers will be playing the Minnesota Timberwolves if this holds. As I said, 4-point lead, maybe 5 here in a second. Big game. What else happened out there?
Boy.
What else
we got
happened?
some great
Rory?
basketball games, and we got some great golf. What a great Sunday this is.
The Clippers have officially won, so the T-Wolves will be the Lakers' first-round opponent. The Lakers are 2-2 against the T-Wolves. 2-2 against the T-Wolves, and will open at home. And I know this has confused some people. I've seen this on Twitter. The Lakers will be hosting for the first time since 2012. In 2020, yes, they were the #1 team in the league, but that was in the bubble. So this will be the first time since 2012 that we will start this playoff series in downtown Los Angeles. That's a lot of fun, and I'm happy for the fellas. And what's crazy is Denver's in the play-in playoffs, and the Warriors go to the 7 seed. The Warriors will be in the play-in taking on Memphis. The winner of that game plays the Rockets, a possible future opponent for the Lakers. So it's been a lot of fun, man. The NBA got exactly what they wanted, Fish, coming down to the wire.
Yeah, I mean, so many more teams, you know, with mathematical possibilities. I think it's created more organizations striving to win as opposed to just kind of treading water and, you know, not really feeling like they're involved in any postseason opportunities. And so I think it's been a hit. It was a little rough starting out. Some of the players and teams weren't really bought into it. But it's created a situation where you have multiple teams on the final day of the regular season, you know, playing as though it's for the title.
Yeah.
And so there's so many more players and teams engaged at this point, and I think it's going to lead to also good playoff basketball once we get there.
And the fact that the Warriors, who are a really good basketball team, we're talking about, they get hot enough, they're big in the contenders to maybe win the championships, are now in the play-in situation. That just goes to show you how the league has done a good job of, you know, creating parity, creating opportunities for teams to advance. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Even the play-in games are going to be interesting.
J.J. Redick led the Lakers to the 3 seed in his first season as a head coach. He knows who he's playing now, and he's speaking with Mike in the media.
Well, J.J., obviously we just found out it's going to be the Timberwolves in round 1 of the playoffs. Is there anything you kind of want to wrap up about tonight or this season, or are you already kind of, you and your coaching staff, you know, tilting your brains towards that round 1?
We're going towards the playoffs, yeah. I mean, tonight was, or today was, you know, tough spot for, you know, having to play 2 bigs that haven't really played. I don't think Christian and Trey, outside of some South Bay games, have been on the court together, and, you know, Alex hasn't played in a while, so those guys have done such a good job with the stay-ready games, but, you know, this offensive rebounds killed us.
What are your initial thoughts on round 1 against Minnesota?
It's a very difficult opponent. They've played as well as anyone, you know, lately, and I believe they're one of 4 teams in the top 10 in offense and defense, so they present a lot of problems.
You guys have only faced them the one time in February since trading for Luka, and even then, I think they were without Rudy for that matchup. I guess how do you anticipate going about the preparation, the scouting, just in terms of the matchup?
I mean, we had games the last, you know, 6-7 weeks where we hadn't played the team since, you know, AD was on the team. We didn't have Luka, so we have a way of prepping based on previous games against Luka. You know, we have a general idea of what their rules are, just like they have a general idea of what our rules are. So I don't think it doesn't necessarily matter that we don't have anything on tape with both teams at full strength.
JJ, you said that during the game you would worry about you'd control what you could control. Were you getting any updates about anything during the game? Was that something you had told people you just didn't want to know anything?
I accidentally got one. I literally, Bob had written down the Clippers score in the second half and on a box score, and I happened to come across it, and then I put it out of my brain, and then I just kept coaching. So, we got to watch the game just now. It was a fantastic game, and both those teams are really high level.
Along those lines, I mean, you've got your players are all in there together watching it. You're watching it together as a staff. Just kind of a unique situation to have that as your team building and different things like that. Just shared experiences like that. What's the value in those things?
Yeah, a lot of value. We'll get together Tuesday night and watch the play-in together. We'll spend some time Tuesday, Wednesday introducing a little bit of playoff stuff, but it's not necessarily going to be everything at once this week. We'll have to slow drip, and I think that's the approach that I think is going to work best for our group. So Tuesday will be more about us. Wednesday we'll introduce Minnesota. It gives our coaching staff now, basically 3 full days, and then we can sort of map out what we want to do in terms of Minnesota prep Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, potentially Saturday.
You told us pregame that part of your approach to mapping out the time in between the regular season and the postseason would be to consult with your players. How valuable will the tape be potentially from Dallas playing the Wolves in the conference finals last year? And how will you approach kind of mining information from Luka as you prep?
Yeah. I mean, in my playing career, that happened a lot. There's regular season and there's playoffs, and oftentimes it's not completely different things, but there are nuances to what teams are trying to do against certain opponents. Greg was on Phoenix last year and got swept by Minnesota. Sorry, Greg. Just stating a fact. So he's got a good level of experience as well. It was literally the thing he said to me as soon as the game was over. So, we have a lot of work to do, and they're a really good basketball team.
Yeah, so JJ talking a lot about Minnesota right there as the Clippers get the win in OT against Steph Curry and the Warriors. That puts Steph and the Warriors into the play-in game against Memphis. Lakers are 2-2 versus Minnesota. The last time they played was February 27th. Lakers got the win in that one, 111-102. Luka has a rivalry with the Minnesota Timberwolves. You can go back to last year's Western Conference Finals, that shot he hit over Gobert late in the game. So, Fish, these two teams know each other well, and Luka knows the Minnesota Timberwolves well. So this should be a lot of fun.
Was he speaking Slovenia or English?
He did a little bit of both.
After he made that shot over Gobert? Okay.
I read it in English.
No, I like JJ's thoughts on, not necessarily needing matchups with each team being whole to kind of have a sense of like what the matchup is going to feel like. Understanding the tendencies of a Chris Finch coached team and the things they like to do. And then people having an understanding of how the Lakers like to attack post a Luka trade, the offensive actions they like to run. And so there won't be tons of surprises per se, but I think the Timberwolves do pose an interesting challenge for the Lakers in terms of their front court size. The Lakers have really began to embrace over the last few weeks that smaller lineup with LeBron, Finney-Smith, Rui, Austin, and maybe some other combination of a guy out there. And with Gobert and Naz Reid and Julius Randle, there's some physicality to this Timberwolves team up front that can somewhat be disruptive, although I think offensively the Wolves will struggle at times to score against this Lakers defense.
Big game, and Fish, I want to show you guys the wall because they just put it up there. It's updated. You see game 1 of the play-in tournament, the Warriors and Memphis. The winner of that will go play the Rockets in the 2-7 matchup. Sacramento Kings, Dallas Mavericks winner will play the loser of game 1. The winner of that will go to OKC in the 8th spot. How about those matchups, big game? OKC Denver Clippers, all on that side of the bracket. The Denver Clippers series will be nuts. Lakers, Timberwolves, and Rockets, either Warriors and Memphis. Big game. I don't know if you could get a more competitive first round than that.
Yeah, even the play-in is going to be competitive, and the team that comes out of that. I mean, we've talked about the West all year long. I mean, we know the East, Boston, Cleveland. Can't count out Giannis either, but over here in the West, man, you're going to have a lot of, competition, unpredictable. You look at Oklahoma, they're favored to win, but this is new territory for them. And, you get the experienced teams like the Clippers, the Lakers, and then you get, teams that are playing well. Like if Golden State gets in there, the more experienced teams that are in the playoffs are the teams that you need to watch out for, regardless of the seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Lakers could draw up theoretically a better alignment of the seeding in terms of, if you look at the board, the Lakers being opposite of OKC, Denver, and the Clippers, as you stated, at least on paper, presents a really good opportunity to win your side of the bracket. It's kind of similar to NCAA tournament. In certain regions you get into, it's a more favorable path.
Yeah.
You still have to go out and win the games. Nobody's assuming anything, but it's a really interesting opportunity for the Lakers to advance deep into the postseason.
All right, guys, let's go to break. Lakers will be facing the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of the NBA playoffs.
Access Sportsnet Lakers is brought to you in